your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
9년 전 한국에서의 새로운 출발을 위해 부산을 처음 찾은 프랭크. 부산의 자연과 사람, 부산에서 누리는 모든 것을 사랑하는 그는 부산의 변함없는 한대에 늘 감탄합니다.
I think that Busan people are actually very, very kind and very welcoming. If I seemed a little lost, there was always someone that was there to ask me if I needed help. They're more seriously friendly than it's very serious. I very seriously want to help you.
부산의 한결같은 모습도 늘 감동을 주지만 이제는 부산의 미래를 꿈꾸며 2030년 부산의 새로운 도약을 기대합니다.
Busan people are very proud of their city. They want to share the city with everyone. If we get the World Expo, it'll really put Busan on a global map.
세계 박람회가 어울리는 도시, 미래를 향한 힘찬 도약. 부산에서 출발한 파도는 이미 세계를 향해 뻗어 나가고 있습니다. 2030 부산 세계 박람회. 부산이 시작하고 대한민국이 함께 이뤄갑니다. 이 캠페인은 지역과 함께하는 든든한 동반자 BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Min-Soo Shin. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Inside Out Busan, and I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. You know, we encounter all kinds of characters when we're driving, when we're out on the roads, and some of them have a knack for what we like to call cheeky parking, 민폐 주차라고 합니다, or annoying parking for some of you. So yes, you heard it right. Those parking moves that make you do a double take and say, did they really just do that? 설마, right? So from the classic double parking to the infamous diagonal parkers and those bold drivers squeezing into those tight spots, they test their vehicle's limits. What kind of cheeky parking irritates you the most? Welcome to the show, everybody. It's the Tuesday edition of 인싸의학 Busan on November 7th. Happy Tuesday to you all. My name is Min-Soo Shin, and this is 인싸의학 Busan. Did I already say that? I do not remember. Where is my mind? 여러분 반갑습니다. 환영합니다. Happy Tuesday evening to you all. And to kick off our show, that was the Rolling Stones with Angry. And I know a lot of you are getting angry when you're out on the roads, okay, driving. But we're going to steer away from the actual, road rage that some of you, can and do get while you're driving. I think road rage could be a whole nother show, a whole nother, special maybe here on 인싸의학 Busan. But today, not the exact act of driving. Today, we're going to be focusing on the act of parking. Yes. There is this way of parking that some people partake in, and some people dubbed it as cheeky parking. 한국말로는요, 민폐 주차라고 합니다. So, those, parking moves that people kind of leave their car, whether it be parking lots or out in the streets, and then you just look at it and then you scratch your head and you wonder, how do they even do that? 저렇게 어떻게 주차를 했지? It's difficult to even try to park like that. If you've seen parking that makes you say that, that is referred to as cheeky parking. 민폐 주차 typically refers to the act of parking a vehicle in a very bold or audacious manner, often in a way that is considered very rude, inconsiderate, or maybe even against the rules. So, Min-Soo, what kind of cheeky parking are you talking about? Well, let me give you some examples. One, line crossing parking. 선 넘는 주차 있잖아요. Oh, this gets my blood boiling already. So, people that park and you spill over the lines, and you occupy the spaces next to you, right? So a driver who crosses the parking lines and encroaches into the adjacent parking space, preventing other cars from parking, despite the presence of the parking lines, you are a cheeky parker. Okay? So 선 넘으면요. 그리고 일부러요. Now, I understand. Let's say, I don't know, you got a new car or it's a rental or you're driving your mom or dad's car and you're not used to the size. And then, you park and then you get out and then open your door and you get out of the car and then you see that you're maybe over the line. Oh, okay. I mean, that's fine. As long as you get in your car and you see yourself and you think to yourself, okay, this is probably going to be encroaching on the person next to me if they're going to try to park. Well, let me repark it and give them a little bit more space, not be spilling over the line so much. That's fine. But, people that park, they get out of the car and they see that they spilled over the lines and they go, and then they just walk away. Ooh, you are a cheeky parker. 네, 바로 민폐 주차하는 사람입니다. Another example is tight squeeze parking, 밀착 주차인데요. So basically, drivers who leave so little space that you can't even open your driver's side door comfortably. This happens a lot here in Korea. This is not very common, like places like the U.S., because, I'm sure people that have been to the U.S., you go to a shopping mall or, outdoor parking area, it's huge. Right? So, and each parking space is big too. 거긴 땅이 넓으니까요. But here in Korea, because we lack the space to have that kind of facility and infrastructure, there are a lot of facilities that you would drive into, park, and then okay, there's no car next to me right now, but if a car does pull up and park next to me, I'm going to have a hard time. But there are people that even know that and do it anyway. Right? As long as I could get out comfortably, I don't really care if the person next to me, can fit in their car or not. That's not my problem. And then even though you're not spilling over the line, still you're right up on it, even though the person next to you might not be too close to the line. You might be a cheeky parker. Then there's parking without leaving any contact information. Oh, okay, now my blood's boiling because I've seen this and I've been victim of this far too many times. 연락처 안 남긴 주차 말입니다. So especially in single or double parking situations, this can trap others' cars and cause a lot of inconvenience when the driver cannot be reached. And sometimes, I don't know, people, of course, there's situations for everybody, but then a lot of the times I do wonder, I guess, what the situation might be. I think about it even more when I do call the person that might be double parked in front of my car and they don't pick up and they don't answer the text messages. Like, did you forget that you left your car here? I don't know what kind of situation you might be in, but I don't know, you should be picking up your phone if you happen to double park, right? So these are examples of what cheeky parking is. 민폐 주차, example인데요. So I don't know, what kind of cheeky parking behavior, annoys you the most? 여러분이 생각하는 뒷골 당기는 민폐 주차는 무엇입니까? 이중 주차 있고, double parking, 선 넘는 주차, line crossing parking, taking up other people's spaces, 밀착 주차, tight squeeze parking, or other forms. Now, I got a couple more that I want to share, but I'm going to save that for the rest of the show. Let me know, pound 9050, shop 9050 will cost you 101. You can chat with us on our Kakao Talk, or we are live on our YouTube. You could come join us over there. Let's get to today's News Bites. Joining me here in the studio, we have Annie. Hi, Annie.
Hi.
Yeah, sorry to leave you on the YouTube by yourself for so long. I forgot to put the camera on me.
I tried to look as engaged as possible.
네, well, thank you so much for the acting. How are you today?
I wasn't acting, but I'm good.
So Annie, I don't know. Do you drive?
No.
No. Okay.
I do not have my driver's license.
Not here in Korea, where before coming here, have you driven?
Never.
Oh, really? Okay. So
I've been
I can't.
in a car though, so I guess I can say something.
Are you? I don't know. Then, as an avid pedestrian,
Yes, that is what I am.
the type of parking that I mentioned, referred to as cheeky parking, is this something that kind of like catches your eye?
Not as much as I would think a driver would. The only time it really gets in the way is like I need the sidewalk, and when they park on the sidewalk.
Yes.
It really irks me. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah. Now, I understand if it's like delivery trucks.
Yeah, okay.
Because here in Korea, there's no
Busy.
back entrance to a lot of businesses, right? So I understand if you got to park in front of the business and then that kind of takes up some walking space.
Right.
But no, sometimes when it's just cars that park there and I don't know, they're running an errand or they just leave their car there.
But also, this is coming from experience. I'm not trying to judge anyone, but it's usually a very nice car. And that just irks me even more.
Oh, I know what you mean, right?
There's no special treatment.
The expensive ones. Yeah, but, listeners, don't get us wrong. There might be even emergency situations,
Yeah.
right? People might get into and they have no other choice but to park there. But you do have to realize that it's not something that you can or should do.
Right. I
know
don't
what
do
I mean?
anything. I just kind of huff and puff and walk away, but
Yeah.
I'm not the 신곡 type, so.
It takes a really bad cheeky parker for me to, 신고해.
photo.
I haven't done it much. I mean, a lot, but there are some that kind of make me do it.
It was really nice going to the States, and we parked, and I just opened my door, and it just swings open, and there's more than
you
enough
just
space.
fling it open, and you're not worried about a car next to you, right? Even though there's a car next to you, there's so much space
Yeah.
to open your door. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Let's get to today's news bites. What do you got?
Right, first, 수능, or the College Scholastic Ability Test, CSAT. I feel like we just talked about this yesterday, but no. It is fast approaching.
네.
With just 9 days left, it's taking place on the 16th. So this year, there will be no COVID-19 specific restrictions. Even those infected with the virus will be able to sit the exam in the same classroom as everyone else. However, they will be strongly advised to wear a mask and also to eat their meals in a separate classroom. And it is said that 54,588 students have applied to take the exam this year, which is actually down by more than 3,000 compared to last year. There are 31.7% retakers, and then 3.6% are GED applicants or other situations. And this is actually the highest percent of non-current student applicants since 1996, so the first time in 28 years.
Wow. So the number of test takers have gone down, but a huge increase when it comes to the
Retakers.
retakers or the kind of test takers, right? Why have these numbers increased so much?
Oh, right. So some are seeing the government's call to remove killer questions as the reason for the rise in non-high school student applicants, as many are expecting this year's suneung to be somewhat easier, I guess. There's also another analysis that there has been an increase due to the medical school wave. So there are a lot more students coming dreaming of going to medical school. The Seoul City Office of Education, I know it doesn't pertain to us down here, but still, they'll provide 4 test sites specifically for applicants with disabilities and over 230 test sites. That's 4,669 classrooms. And they will even set up a test site at the Nambu Correctional Facility to allow 12 juvenile convicts to sit the test.
Yeah. So D minus, what'd you say, 9?
9.
Wait, is that how D minus works?
I think so.
Okay, so D minus 9 days until the College Scholastic Aptitude Test of Korea, CSATs, otherwise known as suneung. That's kind of like just what you can expect for this year. All right. I'm sure more news on it, especially when it comes to traffic and everything. You'll be filling us in when we approach that day. What's next?
Right, so the government has decided not to restrict the use of paper cups at restaurants. They will also take a pause on the crackdowns on plastic straws at cafes and plastic bags at convenience stores. So the government explained that this was in consideration of small businesses and the financial burden that they are experiencing during these times of high prices and high interest. However, this will, of course, inevitably bring about criticism that the policy on reduction of disposable product use, which is, a current and also national issue, has kind of gone backwards.
Yeah.
Some have even pointed out that this is just a goodwill policy purely in consideration of the upcoming general elections.
Yeah. But what's the reason for these changes then?
Right. Well, the Ministry of Environment explained that after checking the possibility of implementing regulations during this guidance period, where they're not enforcing it hard, the ban on disposable paper cups and plastic straws was actually identified as the most difficult measure to implement. And an official explained that businesses were burdened with having to hire more manpower to wash these reusable cups or having to install dishwashing machines. They are not cheap. He added that South Korea was the only country to regulate the use of paper cups. And as for the plastic straw ban, the alternative was 2.5 times more expensive. So those are like the paper straws or some starch straws.
Yeah.
But it brought lower customer satisfaction overall.
Yeah. It's interesting. A couple months ago when I was in the States, everything,
Plastic.
even like everything was plastic. And, I saw it, I was like,
It feels weird, right?
it felt weird. Like I even felt guilty. Like when they gave me a plastic cup and I was supposed to be in there, like I felt like I had to go out because I had this plastic cup. So in that sense, places like America maybe not too restrictive when it comes to those kinds of rules. But it seems like here in Korea, a lot of businesses were enforcing those rules, but a lot of people had a lot to say about those enforcements.
For sure.
Yeah. So.
But I think that's evidence that it's working.
Yeah.
That we feel
definitely,
that guilt.
Definitely. I mean, I'm supportive. This is going to be helping our environment, and in the end, right, with the 2050 carbon neutrality measures, because it all leads up to that, right?
Yeah.
But it looks like, I don't know, with everything being hard, especially for businesses, they will put a temporary pause, it seems like, on that, and we're going to have to see when it picks back up later.
Right.
What's next?
Right. I just wanted to do a little mini side note. So yesterday I spoke about Kim Gil-soo, the escaped convict, I should say.
Oh, yes.
He has been caught when he was calling an acquaintance who happened to be with police for questioning. So there are further investigations that are going to follow on those who helped and also why it took so long to find him. But yes, he has been caught, so
Okay.
relief.
Yeah, peace of mind for a lot of people, probably too. We have one more bit of news, right?
Right, yeah, let's go international, of course. So, according to the Hamas-controlled health ministry in the Palestinian enclave, 10,022 people have been killed in Gaza since Israel launched its military offensive nearly a month ago now.
Goodness.
This included 4,104 children, 2,641 women, and 611 elderly people, which then suggests that more than 70% of the dead are from these vulnerable populations. The ministry also reported 25,408 people injured. And the Israel Defense Force, or IDF, said Monday local time it has struck hundreds of Hamas targets and taken control of a military compound in Gaza over the past 24 hours.
Now, out of all those vulnerable groups, just the number of children being the most that have succumbed to the violence that's been going on. I mean, that's gotta strike at the hearts of both sides,
Definitely.
right? Is there any possibility of a ceasefire?
Well, the heads of 18 United Nations agencies and major aid organizations issued quite a rare statement Sunday local time calling for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Israel and Palestinian territories. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would consider, quote, tactical little pauses in fighting to facilitate the entry of aid or the exit of hostages from the Gaza Strip, but then again rejected calls for ceasefire until all hostages were released. And he was also quoted saying that Israel will have the overall security responsibility in Gaza for an indefinite period after the war ends, though when that's happening, we don't know. There have been various reports, though, where the public are kind of struggling to justify the large death toll, but then also feel for those currently held hostage, as well as their families. So it's a bit difficult.
Yeah, I can't imagine what those people are going through.
Right.
Oh, but those numbers shocking, and just the most that have fallen victim, losing their lives in the middle of the conflict, being children. Right? Yeah, that's hopefully something to think about for a lot of our listeners. That will do it for today's News Bites. Annie, thank you so much for coming in, filling us in on the headline-making news. We'll see you back here tomorrow, okay?
Yep, see you tomorrow. Bye.
And that was 손발광 local band with Dance Dance. I feel a little bad. I don't think I give enough support for local bands here on our show with the music that we play. I think I'm inspired to play a couple more songs from other local bands coming out of Busan, right? If you have any suggestions for music, feel free to let us know. I definitely do take song requests. Keep them coming in, right, in terms of requests. Well, this is the first hour of Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Let's get to a quick weather and traffic update. Cold today. 오늘 많이 추웠죠? So right now, Busan is averaging 14 degrees. Now, this is 3 degrees lower from yesterday, which is a pretty big difference. Tomorrow, expecting morning low of 8 degrees. 우리 이제 10도 이하로 내려갔습니다. And afternoon high of 20. So skies will be clear, but early winter-like conditions will prevail tomorrow, like we saw today. Tomorrow morning, temperatures are expected to plummet to single digits, making it quite cold. Daytime temperatures will get a touch warmer, but you could expect more of what you saw today tomorrow. 내일 아침에는 기온이 더 떨어져 춥겠습니다. 두툼한 겉옷을 챙기시는 게 좋겠다고 합니다. When it comes to our traffic, we have congestion on 강병대로 from Gupo Station going towards 금곡동. There's also congestion on 광안대교 from 해운대 going towards 남천동. So that's the upper deck, I do believe. When it comes to the slow-moving traffic here in our city, we are experiencing it over on 거제대로 from 남문구 Junction going towards 교대 Junction. Everybody, drive safe. All right, so today, I am asking our listeners, what kind of cheeky parking, 민폐 주차, do you just, find annoying, right? There's so many kinds I'm sure we could get into. But this is something that, here in Korea, I feel like it's very hard to avoid because of the many tight spaces and the lack of parking that we have. If you're from America, I'm sure you're used to, street parking in pretty much most streets in cities, although you do have to pay. I bet you if people had the option here in Korea to do street parking on most streets with the option to pay instead of maybe a parking lot, they'd probably do that, right? But, that's something that we don't have here in Korea. So people, opt to partake in a little cheeky parking. So I wanted to find out from you what kind of cheeky parking kind of annoys you the most, gets your blood boiling. We have Yena님 on our YouTube saying hi. Hi, Yena. You say number 4, tight squeeze when it's curbside parking. Yes. You don't have to experience that too much, though. Come on. Living in California, you could park and you could fling your door open, right? Why? Without any worries of hitting anything. No, but sometimes, when it gets busy, I guess that's something that you could experience. You also say nice hair, 민숲. 그 민숲, 그거 오래가네요, 예나님. 네. So one time I get the spelling of your name wrong, right? But keep those messages coming in. They are coming in, but we will get to them later on our program. Time for today's IOB 5분 상식. Time for today's open 상식. Look, we have here in the studio. Hi, Hailey.
Hello.
Hi.
Happy winter.
Happy. 안 돼요.
Winter
벌써.
is here. Jon Snow, winter is here.
Not yet. Come on. Too early.
Okay,
too early.
Mr. wearing fleece.
This is my fall fleece. What are you talking about?
Okay.
So today we're going to get our listeners in the know of some of the most trending, useful, and need-to-know words and expressions. 5분만 들으면 유식해지는 시간인데요. 오늘은요. 새를 충돌로부터 살리는 Lights Out 운동에 대해 알아보도록 하겠습니다. 자기야, this is really our problem. I'm the captain of a plane. And you're a conservationist. 난 비행기 기장이고 넌 환경 운동가잖아. So you don't understand my work.
Honey, shh. I get that your job's important, but protecting migratory birds is crucial. We can't ignore our responsibility towards the environment. Guess what? Before our jobs, you're a human.
I'm not ignoring it, 자기야, but there has to be a balance. I can't jeopardize the safety of my passengers just because of these birds.
I'm not asking you to compromise safety. When did I say compromise safety? Don't put words in my mouth. Just consider this. Lights out. Ah, yeah. It's gonna minimize risks to both birds and passengers. Balance.
Lights out? I don't know. Sounds kind of dangerous. My job is at risk if I delay the flight because of birds striking the plane. It's not that simple.
But honey, think about the birds. What about the birds? They're a part of our ecosystem and we need to protect them. Doing the lights out exercise, that's the right thing. It can save lives.
Okay, I get it, but 자기야, what about my responsibility to the passengers on board? It's a matter of safety for everybody. If bird strikes keeps happening, I might even lose my job.
Really? Then it might be a win-win. Then you stay at home, be a stay-at-home dad, while I go and save the planet and the birds. Ooh.
사실 그거 좋은데. This is something that's gonna suit definitely my nature. 내 적성을 찾았어. 바로 이거야.
Go make me a sandwich.
I would kill to be a house husband.
Would you?
I don't know.
You'd be a good one.
That's the dream for a lot of people. And sometimes, that's something that crosses my mind.
Still
every
waiting
now
on that
and then.
sandwich.
네, 갖다 드릴게요. Okay, lights out for the birds. Now this might be, I don't know, what? Right? Lights out. 운동인 무엇입니까?
I mean, should we turn our lights off? No.
Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights.
All
yeah.
right. Lights Out, it's a voluntary program that involves turning off or blocking as many external and internal building lights as possible at nighttime, especially during bird migration season, which is spring and right now fall. So this movement is actually actively happening across 50 cities in the US and Canada, including New York, Boston, San Diego, Dallas, Miami, and Toronto, which I have to say, cities with a lot of lights.
Yeah. Even here in Busan, we've been seeing a lot of changes in like the migration of the birds into our city and out of the city. And we would think, global warming, right? Global warming.
Right.
But did even like light pollution maybe even cross our minds?
Light pollution is actually a major issue. So
Yeah.
according to the Bird Conservancy, approximately 20,000 birds fall victims to bird strikes daily. So that means when birds fly into glass windows and, transparent noise barriers in urban areas. And on top of this, since birds migrate at night, these artificial lights can actually attract birds that migrate at night to buildings. And basically, then they also collide with these windows and glass panes, which are even harder to see at night.
Yeah. And also, birds colliding with aircrafts or maybe getting drawn into the engines. This has not only, led to the danger of the birds, but also accidents, right? When it comes to these aircrafts. So these incidents are commonly referred to as bird strikes. Birds like striking the airplane, hitting the airplane. Can turning out the lights help birds in this regard? 불을 끄는 게 도움이 될 수 있나요?
Actually, yes. So according to a study by the Field Museum in Chicago, they found that turning off the lights at one downtown high-rise reduced migratory bird deaths by 80% in the area. And turning the lights out a few weeks each year, it's a simple action that we all can do to reduce bird deaths and also help birds migrate. So turning off all non-essential nights from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. each night during migration season, especially in the upper floors, that can really help that. And on top of it, maybe you're working late, maybe you're working with different time zones, but at least closing the blinds at night.
Oh, yeah.
So from the outside, they can't see the light as much.
Things to keep in mind. Now, this might digress a little bit from this, but I recently saw this video of a person in an aquarium that was taking a picture and used the flash on the lights. And I guess this huge fish, it was like a tuna or something, or like one of those really fast fish. That saw the lights and it blinded them or something. It crashed into the aquarium glass and died right on the spot. So this is a way that, artificial things that humans, do and use, such as lights, how it can really negatively affect just nature in general.
Right.
Yeah, so this is something to keep in mind. Never thought about this. Lights out 운동은요. 철새 이동 시기에 빌딩 조명을 끄거나 어둡게 해 철새들이 건물과 충돌하는 것을 막는 활동을 말하는 겁니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리, 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 저 그 라디오라도 좀.
그래 라디오.
네가 적었어요, 심참인 것 같네.
22번 훈련병.
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
TMI Busan.
Time for TMI Busan with Queen TMI. Hailey with us here in the studio. Hi, Hailey.
Hello.
We had a message that came in during our 꽁트 from 토끼님 saying, wow, 10년 차 부부 포스예요. I don't know, 토끼님, it's just
We are like 10년차 coworkers.
그냥 Hailey 볼 때마다 just this 짜증 this kind of, no, I'm just kidding.
I have that effect on many people.
This
You might be my
anger.
family.
그래 말이야. That's you know just our
It's our dynamic.
it's just how much dedicated we are to our roles
Yeah.
in our 꽁트,
Yeah.
right? So 토끼님, you're welcome. Hailey, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. Yeah, definitely a big temperature difference. So trying my best to, knock on wood, not get sick. So yeah,
네. It's something's going around.
many things are going around.
Yeah,
Many
so be
things.
careful.
But yeah, I got my, sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
not sorry. I got my vaccination, so I am vaccinated. Are you
Good.
vaccinated?
Yeah. But not this year.
Oh, well, go be vaccinated.
That's every year, right?
Yes,
When it comes to
it's
독감,
every
right?
year. It's like taxes.
I just gotta
You
make
have
sure.
to do
I
it.
was like,
You have to do it
I
every
had
year.
it recently, like, in the past couple of years, but not necessarily this year.
Yeah.
That's why, before you cut me off, I was going to say I caught something last week.
Oh no!
I'm better now, but like, I was dizzy, I had a headache, I had the shivers. So yeah, it's no bueno, okay? So good that you got the shot. Hopefully you don't get sick.
Flu, COVID, knock on wood.
그래
So,
말이야.
yeah.
Well, we hope all of our listeners are keeping well when it comes to your health. Let's get to today's TMI. What do you got for us?
I mean, speaking of knocking on wood and health and staying sane, bed bugs. Oh, okay. Just
we
chills.
talked about this yesterday.
And we're gonna talk about it continually because as of the latest report, we're getting about 30 bed bug sightings or suspected bed bug reports across the country. So unfortunately, bed bugs have been found across the capital area, even a college dorm in Daegu, which college dorm seems like one of the worst places to have bed bugs because, okay, honestly, college kids, how often do you wash your sheets? Yeah,
질리죠.
You know?
네.
I mean, I was a college kid once and we're not going to talk about that. So according to Busan City, there was a report of a suspected bed bug sighting at an underground market in Chunggu district. But don't worry, authorities went there and did not find any, so this was likely a false sighting.
Good.
But the city is still taking preventive action because last month, Busan City distributed this guide on bed bugs and an official letter to request boosting sanitation across lodgings, public baths, and etc. So keep in mind that bed bugs don't actually carry infectious diseases, so they're not fatal, but they are irritating
Yeah.
and they cause severe itchiness.
맞아요. So you might be thinking, because you might be like me, like when somebody mentioned bed bugs, like are they talking about those super like microscopic like bugs that you might like you need a microscope to look for them like in your mattress and whatnot.
Oh, not like 진드기. It's
Yeah.
not 진드기. It's 빈대.
맞아요. And I saw folks, if you want to go online and type bed bugs
Also
Paris.
don't. Also don't if you care about your sanity.
Yeah, but do, because you do need to know about this. Type in bed bugs and then Paris, and those pictures will like scar you.
Okay, full disclosure. 15 years ago, I had bed bugs in my
Okay.
home because I lived in the U.S. and there was, about that time, there was a huge bed bug, I guess, epidemic across the U.S. And I guess one of my roommates caught it on the bus and brought it home. So unfortunately, I'm a bit of a self-determined expert on them, and they are such a pain. And for years after, every time I got a mosquito bite, I would just neurotically check my mattress. So where to check if you think you have bed bugs?
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, most likely place you will catch them is someone else's bed, like hotels. Hotels, motels, lodgings. So always look at the corner of the mattress when you check in. The couch, furnitures, or cracks in the wall. But for me, my experience, corners of the mattresses was the most telltale spot. Because you'll kind of see these weird brownish, red, brown, black dots on the corners of the mattress.
Yeah.
Book it out of there. No. Get a refund. Yeah, just no, nothing. Also, bed bugs are the most active in early morning times between 3 and 4 a.m. So that's when you'll get bitten. And if you do travel, it's a really good idea to look for hotels that don't have carpeted floors. Hardwood is the best. Linoleum, where bed bugs like soft, warm spots. So carpets. Don't put your suitcase down on carpets. Put it on a hard surface like tables. If you get bitten, wash the site with water and soap. It's basically similar to mosquito bites. It'll itch. If you spot the bed bugs, heat. Heat kills them. There are chemicals, but if you have pets or babies at home, you're probably going to be a little reluctant. So really wash the bedding thoroughly with very hot water and dry it in a dryer. And then also a good idea to have like a steam iron in your home.
We got one of those.
Right. So steam the mattress because you can't really throw the mattress in a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
So use heat to kill them. And also, of course, consult a doctor or pharmacist if you do get bitten.
Yeah. Hopefully this is something that does not affect us here in Busan, but things to keep in mind.
Right.
Yeah. Any sign of it, I'm turning up my 온도 to 60도. Okay. What's next?
All right, light rail price increases because everything's expensive. So Gimhae City announced that it has confirmed a rate hike for Busan Gimhae Light Rail. That's a 경전철. The prices for adults will go up by 300 won. Rates for teens stay the same, and good news, free for children. So the price increase will be implemented in 2 phases. So we're going to see a 151 increase in December and another 151 increase by May 3rd of next year. The specific date for the December rate hike is to be determined. So once the rate hikes are implemented, all 2 of them, the final price will be 1,300 won for Zone 1 and 1,600 won for Zone 2 for mid to longer distance. And do keep in mind that, to be fair, this is the first time in 7 years that 경전철 has increased their prices.
Okay.
So as for the light rail, both cities, Busan and Gimhae, do have to agree to the price hike. And Gimhae has been pushing for the price hike for some time because they do bear the brunt of the cost of running the light rail. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. So everything's going up, but our wages. What's next?
Well, childcare. So parents rejoice, I suppose. Busan Office of Education announced that they're opening this Yeongdo Child Care Center as of November 9th. So that's just in a couple of days. This is for children in elementary schools 1st grade through 3rd grade for urgent child care. That'll be at the Yeongdo Dolbom Center from 2 p.m. to midnight. And then Sahagu, Saha District, also opening its Tade Dolbom Center, available from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So that brings the total number of these nighttime childcare centers in Busan to 3, the previous one being Gupo Dolbom Center. So initially, they were supposed to begin operations next year, but the education office, they were able to expedite the budget and get the resources going and hire the staff. So it is a part of the city's initiative to merge childcare and education together. And the ultimate goal is providing 24-hour care for emergencies.
Wow.
Because some parents get called in at nighttime others, maybe hospital, medical emergencies and whatnot. And bringing it to our final issue, there is a Busan type 365 days open hours daycare center that's once again for weekends and holidays and nighttime urgent services. And Busan City announced that it is actually increasing its portion of these subsidies. So from now on, parents can use these emergency childcare services at 1,000 won per hour.
Wow.
I mean, it was already pretty cheap at 4,000 won per hour.
Wow.
But now it's just 1,000won. So
Goodness.
yeah, absolutely. Great news. These centers are available in Yeonjaegu, 사하구, 강서구, and Gijanggun. For families who live in Busan, children between 6 months and 6 years of age. But you do have to make a reservation at least a day in advance. Day of services are available on a limited basis. So once again, these are from 6 p.m. to midnight on weekdays and from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekends and holidays for emergency childcare. Yeah.
Great news. And like you mentioned, parents that even might have work super late into the night, this is something that I know probably a lot of our listeners, as parents, and I myself have experienced, one time or another, but there are families that have to deal with this almost on a daily basis sometimes.
So, I mean, absolutely, these are not to be used as your regular childcare. I mean, emergency means emergency. So, I hope you can find reliable regular childcare, but sometimes emergencies happen and keep this number, keep this in the back of your mind, in your phone somewhere for references.
It's going to give a lot of parents a peace of mind knowing that, you could look to some of these places to, have somebody watch their kid or kids in case of, like you said, of these types of emergencies. Nice. Well, that will do it for today's TMI with Miss Queen TMI, Hailey. Hailey, thank you so much for the rundown.
Stay healthy. I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Hearing about bed bugs again. I mean, after the show, I just got them out of my mind. And then now Hailey brings, another update on them. But good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know, right?
Also, are you going to ask me about the text topic, the parking thing?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you?
Oh,
why don't you ask me anything?
Yes, with the parking. Today, folks, we're talking about cheeky parking. What kind of parking annoys you? That's right, you are a driver.
I am.
What kind of parking how
much time do we have? All right. Number
we got
one,
a little bit, yeah.
Legal stuff. Please don't ever park in a disability parking spot.
Yeah.
I don't care if you. I don't care. Period. I just don't care. Yeah. No.
맞아요.
I will report you. Yeah.
Take pictures.
I'll take pictures and I'll talk about you on air. So also in front of fire hydrants. I hope it never comes to it, but they have to be open. And then, pet peeves, don't park on the line. If your car will not fit in the spot comfortably, find another parking spot. Because it's Korea, we have limited land, and, I'm not I'm not made of paper. I can't slither out of my car if your car is on the line.
그래 말이에요.
Yeah.
Hailey는 잘 알고 있네. Like me, when it's people that, okay, all right, I went over the line, let me park again and do my best. Okay, I understand.
I know. I'm can I passively? I have thought about passively aggressively writing a sticky note and then sticking it on the windshield. Maybe not passive, just pure aggressive.
They have business cards like that, right? Where you can leave on their windshield. Right. You are an awful parker.
Exactly.
Right.
Change that word "awful" to something else. But
yes. Hailey's blood boiling a little bit talking about this today, folks. Let us know what kind of parking really boils your blood. To take us out of the first hour, this is Say Sumi, another local band with We Look Alike. Hailey, we'll see you back here next week. Okay.
Bye bye.
Like you, focus on more, we looked alike. 시청역이 도보 2분의 차.
대형마트도 근처에 차.
초등학교도 안심통학권에 차.
착착착 집중 밀차.
신주거 타운의 중심에서 누리는 초집중 라이프.
시청역 해모로 센티아.
아파트 11월 오픈 예정. 051-861-7952 HJ중공업.
괜찮아 괜찮아 조금 불편해도 환경을 위해 너무 괜찮아 일회용 대신 머그컵 비닐봉지 대신 에코백 물티슈 대신 손수건 우리의 실천 하나하나 모여 세상을 바꿔요 깨끗한 세상 플라스틱 제로 일회용품 제로 함께해서 참 좋은 우리의 시민
이 캠페인은 부산환경공단이 함께합니다.
안녕하세요. 운동 유튜버 심으뜸입니다. 요즘 친환경에 필요한 게 뭔지 아세요? 바로 내 몸.
밖에선 한 정거장 거리 정도는 걷기. 유산소 운동 효과에 탄소 배출 감소 효과까지. 안에선 안 쓰는 플러그 뽑기 스쿼트. 하체 근력 강화 효과에 기후변화 방지 효과까지.
어때요? 효과 확실하죠? 몸 좀 움직였을 뿐인데 건강도 아끼고 환경도 아끼고 친환경 피지컬 함께 시작해볼까요?
공익광고 협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다. 인싸이라 부산.
Welcome back, listeners. It's 7 o'clock. Time for hour number 2 of Inzera Busan, and I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. This is supposed to be the chill hour, the relaxed hour. I'll do my best to make you feel relaxed, but no promises. Today we're talking about cheeky parking, 민폐 주차에 대해서 말하고 있는데요. We have a message that came in from 토끼님. 저는 회사 출근할 때 가끔 주차장 차단기 입구를 알짜로 막고 있는 차량을 보면 화나요. Why do they do that? 저도 가끔씩 그런 거 볼 때요. Why? 진짜 왜 그럴까라고 저도 가끔씩 생각하긴 합니다. Maybe they have their reasons. 일자로, sorry, not 알짜로. 일자로, 네, 바로 차를 거기 대고 붙이고 그게 거기 주차하잖아요. 저도 왜 그런지 모르겠습니다, 토끼님. Why? I want to interview some of them sometimes. No. Maybe they have the reasons, but it's not a right reason, right? Keep those messages coming in. We're going to start our second hour with On the Mic, the segment where we get to share the stories about you, the citizens of Busan. Let's see who we have for today.
안녕하세요, 제니입니다. 네, 여러분, 오늘은 제가 부산에서 속눈썹 연장 샵을 운영하고 계신 이그린 원장님 모시고 인터뷰 진행해 보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 만나서 반갑습니다. 간단한 자기소개 부탁드립니다.
안녕하세요. 저는 부산에서 뷰티샵을 운영하고 있는 이그린이라고 합니다.
네, 만나서 반갑습니다. 오늘 이렇게 모시고 인터뷰를 진행하게 되었는데요. 첫 번째로 여쭤보고 싶은 게 속눈썹 연장술을 처음 시작하게 되신 계기가 무엇인가요?
저는 원래 이전에 카페를 운영을 했었는데 코로나가 터지면서 이제 너도 나도 약간 은퇴자분들도 많이 생기고 하니까 카페를 되게 쉽게 접근을 하고 많이 여시더라고요. 그래서 경쟁력이 되게 없다 이런 거를 많이 느꼈고 또 가게를 운영하면서 이제 매일 매출이 그 다음 날이 되면 제로가 돼서 약간 제가 어떤 능력이 늘고 있다? 기술이 늘고 있다 이런 느낌을 전혀 못 받아서 한 3년 정도 하니까 조금 현타가 오더라고요. 그래서 약간 나만의 기술을 갖고 싶다 그런 느낌을 받아서 기술을 배우게 됐어요.
아, 그렇군요. 처음에는 카페를 운영을 또 하시다가 결국에는 나만의 어떤 기술을 갖고 싶다라는 생각을 통해서 지금의 이런 샵을 운영하게 되신 거군요. 네, 그렇다면 이 속눈썹 연장술 역시 어떻게 보면 뷰티 산업에 포함이 될 것 같은데 그만큼 트렌드에 굉장히 민감하고 또 영향을 많이 받을 것 같아요. 속눈썹 연장술에도 이런 트렌드라는 것이 있나요?
네, 트렌드가 있는데 어쨌든 연령대가 다양하고 개인의 취향도 있기는 한데요. 이제 20, 30대 분들은 뭐 예를 들어서 아이브 같이 그런 장원영이 요즘 대세잖아요. 그런 분들이 마스카라 연장 이런 걸 하고 나오시면 저희도 마스카라 연장을 주로 밀어요. 이 샵에서. 그렇게 하면은 이제 그게 트렌드로 저희가 어떻게 만들어 나가는 거죠. 그리고 요즘은 또 막 화려한 패션보다는 꾸안꾸 이런 패션이 대세잖아요. 그러면 또 거기에 맞춰서 좀 자연스럽게 연장을 하시는 분들이 훨씬 많아진 것 같아요.
그렇군요. 정말 어떻게 보면 굉장히 고민도 많으실 것 같아요. 이런 트렌드를 빨리빨리 캐치를 또 하셔야 하다 보니.
네, 맞아요.
그렇군요. 그렇다면 또 이렇게 다양한 손님들을 매번 마주하시다 보면 기억에 남는 분들이 한 번씩 계실 것 같아요. 기억에 남는 손님이 계신가요?
네, 이제 뭐 특별하게 기억에 남는 한 분이 계신다 이런 건 아닌데 제가 서면에서 오픈을 하기 전에 장산에서 샵인샵으로 운영을 하다가 여기로 이전을 했는데 어떻게 보면 먼 거리인데도 계속 거기서 따라와 주시는 그런 분들이 많이 제일 기억에 남고 감사하게 느끼고 있어요.
그렇군요. 이전에 어떤 인연을 정말 소중하게 생각하고 또 선생님의 스킬이나 이런 부분들을 굉장히 좋아하시는 분들이 또 계시니까 지금까지 이렇게 오시는 것 같은데 그렇다면 많은 사람들을 마주하고 또 이런 일을 하시다 보면 분명 힘든 부분들도 있을 것 같아요. 그래서 어떤 순간이 좀 가장 힘들게 느껴지시나요?
어쨌든 이거는 1대1로 약 1시간에서 2시간가량 소요되는 작업이거든요. 그래서 100% 예약제로 운영을 하고 있는데 저랑 시간 약속을 함부로 하는 손님들이 간혹 계세요. 그래서 뭐 노쇼를 하거나 아니면 이제 뭐 연락을 아예 없이 그냥 이렇게 예약을 해놓고 넘겨버리거나 이렇게 하시면은 그럴 때는 좀 회의감이 많이 드는 것 같아요.
그렇군요. 어떻게 보면 이것도 사람과 사람 간의 약속인데 그쵸? 약속을 쉽게 깨버리고 깬다라는 표현도 좀 그렇죠. 그냥 일방적으로 통보도 없이 예고도 없이 오시지도 않고 이러면 굉장히 문제도 많이 되고 속상하실 것 같습니다. 그렇다면요. 이제 저희의 마지막 질문인데요. 사장님의 최종 목표는 어떻게 되는지 궁금합니다.
저의 최종 목표는 저희 샵에서 시술뿐만 아니라 이제 제 기술을 배우고 싶어하는 수강생들을 배출을 해서 그 수강생들도 밖에 나가서 성장을 할 수 있게 도와주는 게 저희 샵의 목표입니다.
네, 너무 좋습니다. 이렇게 오늘 원장님 모시고 너무 귀한 인터뷰 진행해 보았는데요. 늘 번창하시고 화이팅 하시길 바라겠습니다. 오늘 함께 해주셔서 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Kamsahamnida to our reporter Jenny, and to today's interviewee, our special guest for today's On the Mic, Miss Lee Kurin, who runs a beauty salon and specializes in eyelash extensions. Now, this is something that kind of, I started noticing people actually do it. This was like pretty recent too. It was after I got to Korea that I found out that people get even extensions on their eyelashes. I never noticed this during my time in the US. And I'm not saying people don't do it in America. I'm sure many people did. It's just something I noticed more here in Korea. Our special guest says she used to manage a cafe before this, but decided to venture into the field of beauty, specifically eyelashes and extensions, because she felt like she had a gift for them. She was pretty good at it, right? So why not make it into my work, my business? So recently, this trend of extending your eyelashes, basically, there's been a lot of people that have been coming to her asking for different styles popularized by celebrities. 언니, 누나, 전 이 가수처럼, 이 연예인처럼, 이 배우처럼 생기게 해주세요. 속눈썹이에요. I didn't know, they refer to, celebrities like when it comes to eyelashes. But yeah, I mean I guess that's what kind of helps people when it comes to having an idea of what kind of eyelashes they want. She mentioned recently moving her store. She felt a sense of gratitude, especially for her customers who, you have loyal customers when you move stores. And maybe when you move far away, they still come to you because, when it comes to the quality of your work and your service, it's guaranteed. That's why they would go far and wide just to visit you. Those are your loyal customers, right? But there are difficult situations for her when customers don't show up, no-show들 있잖아요, for their appointments without even contact, without even notice. I'm not in a kind of work or line of work that has these types of situations where people make appointments to see me. But yeah, if that were to happen and I was in a business like you, that would be like up there in my list of things that annoy me in my work. And lastly, she mentioned a few of her goals. She mentions she wants to establish her own beauty salon, train new students, right? Train future stylists and also spread her unique techniques to various places. Oh, that's the dream, isn't it? To have your work be recognized by so many other people, so much so that people come to you to learn your skill. Well, Miss Igurin, you are well on your way, I feel like. If you continue with your dedication and passion, not only to your customers, but to your craft, I think that will become a dream come true, a reality for you later on. Thank you so much to our reporter Jenny, and thank you to you, Igurin-님. That was today's On the Mic. Let's take a quick song break. We'll be back with more. This is Pual with Lonely Night.
남는 이 순간 떠난 줄 알면서도 자꾸 떠오르는 너 왜 난 그때 날 돌았을까 너무 힘이 든다던 그게 이유라면 이유일 순 있지만 떠난 이 밤엔 잊으려고 해봐도 자꾸 떠오르는 너 왜 난 그때 널 보냈을까 견딜 수도 없을 걸 알며 나만 오래 원했었지만 Lonely night.
And that was Puar with Lonely Night, a classic or a throwback for some of you out there. We have 현철님 on our Kakao Talk. 바로 노래 들으니까 반응하네요. 박광규님 정말 노래 잘하네요. 오랜만에 듣네요. 맞아요. So 박광규님이 vocalist, the vocals on this song by Puar. Lonely Night. Yeah, I enjoyed that track too. The time is now 7:14 on the dot here in the studio. Welcome to hour number 2 of 인싸의학 Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Real quick, let's see what the weather is looking like as well as the traffic. Right now, 14 degrees here in Busan City. Tomorrow, expecting morning low of 8 degrees and afternoon highs of 20. So folks, tomorrow morning temperatures are expected to plummet to the single digits. 네. 8도 probably feels like 6도, especially with the wind. 바람 많이 불면 더 추울 것 같아요. Daytime temperatures will get a little warmer though, so make sure to dress in layers to keep your body temperatures warm. People listening on the radio can't see me right now, but if you're on the YouTube and you're watching, you could see that I have this really thick fleece on. Now I had this on because it's cold outside. 밖에 추워요, but it's kind of warm in here. I'm like sweating in it. I can't take off this fleece too because it's just like one of those undershirts that people wear. It's not really it's not a casual t-shirt. It's something that that's what you wear at home. 그런 셔츠 입고 있는데 그래서 지금 못 벗고 있습니다. 저 네 덥네요 여기 방송실 안에서는. But outside. It's cold, right? So do dress accordingly. 내일은 아침 기온이 한 자리로 네, 떨어지겠습니다. 싱글 디지트요. 8도까지 내려가는데요. 따뜻한 옷차림을 해주세요. When it comes to our traffic, we have congestion on Namhae Express from former 서부산 tollgate going towards 낙동대교 Bridge. There's also congestion on 만덕대로 from 덕천 Junction going towards 숙등 Junction. Slow-moving traffic on Dongsa Overpass from 범내골 Junction going towards Hwangyang Interchange. And unfortunately, a report of an accident, a two-car collision on Haeundae 해변로 from Dongbek Junction going towards Haeundae Fire Station. It's right near Haeundae Fire Station. Okay? So everybody, drive safe. 부탁드릴게요. So today, I'm talking, text topic for the day, I was talking about just how improper parking, 민폐 주차, otherwise known as cheeky parking, this, more than often, of course, upsets a lot of people. So much so that it's on the top list of pet peeves that a lot of people have, especially drivers, right? So I want to ask you, what kind of cheeky parking kind of annoys you the most, gets your blood boiling when you see this kind of parking? So like we mentioned, there are types of parking that people, they park over the line. 선 넘고 주차하는 것도 있고요. And then double parking. Now, I understand here in Korea, this is quite a common practice, especially in small parking lots. 작은 주차 공간에서 이거도 많이 하잖아요. 네, 이중 주차나 하는데, but if you don't leave a phone number, that's something that really gets me the most. Right? Like you park in front of my car, and I have to call you to tell you to move it. But you don't have a phone number on your car. How am I supposed to get in touch with you, right? 어떻게 연락을 해요? So this is something that irks me. We have a message that came in from 임세원님 on our Kakao Talk saying, "Hi, Min-Soo. Hi. The parking is one of the few reasons that makes living in Busan really unpleasant. If you have any self-respect, you would not do this. You mean the cheeky parking, right? All the bad parking upsets me, but in my neighborhood, I have seen cars parked on the sidewalks, so people have to walk around on the street. This is really selfish behavior. It's very illegal too, I do believe. 불법이잖아요. 네. Not only is it selfish, it's wrong to do. But I know here in Korea, it seems like after a certain time, 어느 시간 지나고 나서, the rules don't apply for some reason, and people, they all do it. And it depends on the neighborhood, depends on the building that they park in front of. Some buildings, like they even allow it to do so. But I'm with you, 태원님. If it bothers, if it makes, people that are walking on the sidewalks uncomfortable, if it even puts them at risk. 좀 위험한 상황을 만드는 그런 주차 때문에 위험한 상황을 만들면요. 그거는 정말 아니라고 생각합니다. Right? So I'm with you. I'm sure that's something that, a lot of people feel, even me. It's day and night when it comes to the parking situation between, where I've lived before in the US and here in Korea. But there's a lot of things to consider, just the amount of parking that's available and the amount of land that's available in the U.S. compared to just so little that we have here in Korea, here in Busan. Now, hopefully, listeners, you don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say like all of you are bad people that, do this. I'm sure you have your reasons, but we mentioned this as a text topic today as, a focal point of our show. Is because we hope that everybody keeps this in mind. There might be some situations where even you yourself might be guilty of parking where you're not supposed to or parking like you're not supposed to. And you might have good reasons. There might have been an emergency. And I totally understand that. But this is something that we should always keep in mind because not only can it be considered selfish behavior, like some of our listeners have said, but also this could be something that puts people at risk, right? Their safety, their health at risk, even with the way we park our cars. So let's all do our best to help out one another to make it a good and comfortable day for everybody. Even like say something like parking, the way we park can affect just quality of life overall for other people. Something to keep in mind. All right, 7:20 here in the studio. It's Tuesday, second hour of our show. We have our resident in-house doctor with us. Time for 인싸의학. Time for 인싸의학. Look, we have back here in the studio Dr. Ryu Sang-hyo. 반갑습니다.
안녕하세요. 닥터 류 인싸의학입니다. 유상입니다. 오늘 제가 I got scrub.
You do have your scrubs on. 너무 멋져요. Dr. Ryu.
Okay.
선생님.
I've been on this scrubs for about for about 2 weeks.
I mean, the couple times that I've been to your clinic, I visited your clinic, you always have the jacket or the robe on.
예,
Well, it's
맞아요.
not called a
그것도
robe.
있어요.
네네네.
예, 하지만
This is my first time seeing you in scrubs.
Oh, really?
네. Did you have an operation today, doctor?
No, I didn't have an operation because I'm a neurologist.
Yes.
And neurologists don't perform surgeries. But I do perform a lot of things on a lot of 아재 개그. On the internet.
The way you deliver your 아재 that's surgical procedure sometimes.
Yes,
네.
right.
We usually start off our segment. We didn't have you last week, so a lot of our listeners had missed you. But we always start your segment with an 아재 개그 that you do have to share with us. Do you have one today?
Yes, this one also. My son told me.
You always say your son tells it.
Uh-huh.
Are you saying that just in case the 아재 개그 is not funny or doesn't work? So it's like, it's not mine. It was my son's. 혹시 그런 건 아니죠?
그런 건 아니에요.
네, 알겠습니다.
I'm so proud of my son. I'm so proud. It's getting colder. I hope my 아재 개그 doesn't make you feel a little bit more cooler than this temperature.
네, 여러분, look for a jacket near you just in case.
Okay.
What is it?
아이들이 좋아하는 감은 persimmons, right?
네.
persimmon 감이거든요.
네.
아이들이 좋아하는 감은
아이들이 좋아하는 감은 정답.
뭐예요?
장난감.
Yes.
딩동댕.
그래요. 이제 아재 개그가 이제 다 해가는 감.
맞아. 요즘, Dr. Yu, now that you say that, a lot of people put that 감 at the end in the way they talk. After you said that, 저도 before this, like earlier today, I've heard students talk like that.
Oh, really?
Putting the 감 at the end. It's just like this trendy, cute way of talking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think that reminds me of the kind of a talk or small 있잖아요. 김대리 퇴근하는 감?
이런 거예요. 그렇죠? 이런 거요. I've heard a lot. It's like this new version of 당.
네, 맞아요.
이미 당 막 이렇게 했잖아요, 예전에는.
정말 우리나라의 언어는 정말 놀라워요.
네.
세계에서
I agree.
정말 언어 링귀스틱스들이 하는 얘기들을 보면 우리나라의 단어가 우리나라의 언어가 정말 세계에서 유니크하고 얼마든지 변화무쌍하기 때문에 어려울 수도 있지만 얼마든지 그 누안스가 있기 때문에
그렇죠.
참 정말 I'm really proud of being Korean.
맞아요.
Yes.
Me too. Although I do need to work on my Korean a little more. But Dr. Ryu, you're not a doctor of linguistics. You are a doctor of our health. So what are we covering today?
Okay, I'm gonna cover some the topic that I am. Well, I'm not sure. I won't have this kind of problem in the future, knock on wood. But kidney problem에 대해서, 신장에 대해서. The reason why I brought up this topic is a few weeks ago I got my physical done, and then I had my blood drawn, and then my blood test came out with some kind of warning parameter when it comes to kidney function. Yes.
네.
그래서 계속 높아가지고 좀 더 정확한 거를 보기 위해서 여러분 신장 질환이 의심이 됩니다라고 이렇게 검진해서 나왔어요. 그래서 다시 한번 검사를 했는데 실제로 높게 나왔어요. 그래서 제가 제 자신을 성찰해봤어요. I reviewed my lifestyle and then what kind of a lifestyle and what kind of habits might be really bad for our kidneys. And I was really surprised because I found many factors, not several factors. I did something wrong in my life. So I brought this topic for you guys. Yeah, this might help you, or I hope this might enlighten you guys.
Yeah, so today focusing on the health of our kidneys, because I know a lot of the times, we our lungs, our brains, different parts of our organs, our intestines, our liver. These are all things that we've covered before on our program, and there's a pretty high percentage of people that have some disease related to those organs.
맞아. Speaking of percentage, you know how many people are having needing dialysis.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, what's a percentage of people that have different types of kidney conditions, or like you said, dialysis? I mean, is it high? I feel like here in Korea, that kind of condition and procedures for that is pretty high up there.
예, 제가 어렸을 때랑 지금 달리 여러분들 길거리 가다 보면은 투석실 이렇게 있는 거를 볼 수 있을 거예요. 그거 본 적이 있나 모르겠네요. 투석실. The room for dialysis. 투석 is dialysis. 투석실 is a room.
Okay.
It's a clinic or some hospitals. 그래서 투석을 받는다는 건 키드니가 망가져서 투석을 받아야 되잖아요. 우리가 신장 필터 해주는 역할을 해주는데 이게 망가지면은 여러분들 일주일에 3번 이상 병원에 가서 you gotta hook your body with a kind of machine for maybe 3 or 4 hours.
Because your kidneys can't properly function on their own.
No. 그래서 얼마나 그렇게 되면 삶의 질이 떨어지겠어요. 근데 그게 그런 환자분들이 10만 명이 넘어갔어요. 우리나라에서.
와우.
10만 명. 네, 근데 그런 환자들이 재작년에 비해서 지금 거의 더블링 되고 있어요. 예, 2배 계속 늘어나고 있어요. 2배씩. 2, 4, 8 뭐 이런 식으로 늘어나듯이.
네.
근데 그 키드니가 망가지는 원인의 대표적인 원인이 바로 다이아베티스, 당뇨가 있고요.
네.
또 당뇨가 거의 60% 70%를 차지합니다. Diabetes is responsible for kidney renal failure, about 60% or 70 at max. 그래서 그게 있고 또 그런 걸 보다 보니까 저도 신장 질환을 신경 써야 되겠다. 그래서 가져왔는데요. 첫 번째 놀라운 사실. 정말 제가 이거 I was bullied when I was in high school because I was so chubby and no muscle, and then a lot of fatty kind of sagging my kind of breasts and a little bit of the muffins, things like that. So I'm really So 이거 정말 어렸을 때는 너무 살이 찌고 막 근육도 없어가지고 그래서 나중에 나이 들어서 운동을 좀 해야 되겠다. 그래서 열심히 I wanted to pump on my muscles and then want to be like a Schwarzenegger, like a Rambo or something. Arnold. Yes.
네.
그렇게 해서 막 프로테인을 막 먹고 막 운동했는데 여러분, if you eat a lot of protein products, it might ruin your kidney.
Oh, too much protein can ruin your kidneys. Okay, how?
얼마인지는 잘 모르겠지만
네.
아무튼 엄청 많이 먹으면은 그렇게 된대요.
Okay.
네, 그래서
I
엄청
mean, that's true because too much of anything can ruin not only your kidney, but I'm sure a lot of other parts of your body, right?
맞습니다.
그렇죠.
네, 그래서 얼마인지는 제가 잘 모르겠어요.
네.
근데 아무튼 have you ever tried protein powder before in your life?
Yeah, like protein shakes.
Protein shakes, right?
Yeah, or like protein bars. Or like
bars.
well, powder specifically, just for shakes. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I had. I did when I was into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But
저는 바디빌딩 그냥 아침에 그냥 제일 간단하게 먹을 수 있는 게 프로틴 쉐이크여서.
그렇죠.
네.
근데 바디빌딩 운동하는 데 가면은 사람들이 이거 운동 끝나고 먹는데요.
그렇죠.
그걸 먹게 되면 신장 수치가 올라갈 수 있어요. 왜냐면은 kidney is the main organ that's kind of a filters or excretes the end product of our protein. 프로테인이 몸에서 사용이 되고 이제 그게 분해가 되고
네.
콩팥으로 가서 이제 배설이 되는데 그게 이제 과부하가 걸리게 되니까
네.
신장이 이제 약간의 과부하로 인해서 피 검사에서 약간 이상하게 나올 수가 있어요.
그러면 you know, when it comes to protein, like then should you cancel it out with other? Can you cancel the effect of that protein has on kidneys with other kinds of food, or are you supposed to just decrease?
Decrease and drink lots of water.
Okay.
신장에 좋은 거는 뭐를 먹으면 신장에 좋다, 뭐를 먹으면 콩팥에 좋다 그러는데요.
네.
가장 좋은 거는 워터죠.
물, 그쵸.
네. 물을 씻어내는 거.
All right. So too much protein is a cause, or is something that could hurt your kidneys.
그 다음에 또 하나는 여러분들 다 알 거예요. 소금. 소금 먹으면은 왜 그러냐면은 you remember after midnight munching like having some ramen at around midnight. 예, 그때 일어났을 때 다음 날 일어났을 때 next morning
띵띵 부어 있고.
예, and then
눈이 열려 있는지 닫혀 있는지 잘 모를 정도 부어
그게 다
있습니다.
콩팥이 역할하는 거죠. 예, 그때 소변을 봤을 때 어떻게 보였어요? 소변이
Very yellow.
very yellow
Yeah.
and very concentrated.
Yeah.
Because 우리가 짠 걸 먹었으니까 우리 몸에 너무 짠 게 염분이 올라가서 그거를 희석시키기 위해서 콩팥에서 물을 계속 흡수해가지고 몸이 띵띵 붓게 되는 거죠. 그럼 물을 계속 흡수하고 그렇게 되다 보니까 소변은 또 농축이 돼가지고 나오는 거죠. 그러면 콩팥이 과부하가 걸리는 거죠.
네.
과부하, overheating, 뭐라 그러죠? overloading. Yeah, that's
Overworked,
right. Yeah,
right?
overworked. 예, 그렇게 돼서 그렇게 되니까 소금. 근데 정말 점심 말고 저녁 또는 야간 밤으로 될수록 salty food가 땡겨요.
맞아요. I don't know what it is. Like we know it's not good for us to eat so late, especially super salty foods. 근데 그때가 제일 맛있어요. It's the most delicious at that time.
맞습니다.
There has to be science behind it. I'm sure there is. 네.
그다음에 넥스팅 하나는 이제 여러 가지가 있는데 술 담배는 다 나쁜 거는 여러분들 아시겠죠?
당근하죠. 네.
네. 근데 이거 제가 이거 듣고 나서 완전히 끊었어요. 소다.
Sodas. I mean,
The carbonated beverages.
as much as as much as there is water there's so much more other stuff that
맞아요.
probably your kidneys have to
That's
filter
right.
too, because sodas are liquid.
Yeah. 그 소다라고 하면 이제 그 아메리칸 랭귀지에서는 대부분 이제 탄산 음료를 말하는 거죠. 탄산 음료.
most of the time,
Yeah, most
yes.
of the time. 그래서 I remember, I go swimming every morning. Not every morning, every other days, but that's my ritual. So after swimming, I do swim a lot. So and then sometimes I craving for some carbonated beverages like zero calories, something like that.
Yeah.
So and after that, I feel really thirsty than before.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, maybe that's what either even if it's just like regular soda or even like those low calorie, 0 calorie diet sodas. just something about the the sugar substitute that they use in that does make you thirsty more, like crave for more of that, or like even like water. Even.
그렇죠. 그래서 그게 아마 또 저의 신장을 조금 망가뜨리지 않았나 하는 생각이 들어서 그래서 그래서 연구를 서베이를 해보니까
네.
soda drinking people are likely to develop more than 30% increase of and having kidney disease.
Really?
And I'm not sure, but many studies are saying that it's really bad. But there is no correct explanation why sodas are related to increasing the chance of kidney disease.
Yeah,
but
I'm
I
sure
think it's to do with some substance. Yeah, you told me
맞아요.
about this
Probably
before.
there's detailed science behind it, but we're not getting into those detailed science right now. We're just letting you like generally know that soda's not good when it comes to the health of your kidneys. Is it especially diet sodas then?
It doesn't mention that, but diet soda and all kinds of soda has some kind of ingredients that are very, very artificial.
Yeah.
So back to basic, always, natural.
So that doesn't mean but drink more regular soda then, alright? 그 말 하는 거 아닙니다, 저희는.
맞습니다.
네, 최대한 소다를 안 마실 수 있으면 더 좋죠.
예.
네.
So soda is acidic material, so that's why it can make your teeth kind of rotten. You're likely to get rotten teeth and then root canal. That's right. So that's why
맞아요.
it is bad for our gastrointestinal system, especially your gastritis and if you're having gastritis. 이게 식도 역류증도 일으킬 수 있기 때문에
맞아요.
안 좋죠.
Have you, Dr. D, I don't know if this is true, but have you heard this urban myth?
What is
and I don't know if it's an urban myth. Like, is it like if it's like like true or false? But if you were to put like a chunk of steak, like a chunk of meat inside, the cola, and you leave it there for like overnight or a couple hours, or like the next day, or like a couple days, when you take out the meat, it'll have dissolved a lot.
Oh yeah.
I've heard about it, but I've never read about it or like seen a video of it. But that's how much, soda. Like imagine that going inside our bodies and being filtered by our organs. It's alarming.
Yeah, it's very alarming. And also, the best way to clean some greasy dishes, you can put some soda into the dishing kind of bowl, and then you can scrub it, and then it can get rid of the greasy or how can I 여기 기름때를 갖다가 떼는데 하는데 그런 소다가 또 아주 도움이 많이 된다.
Yeah, so that's something that we put into our body sometimes. And I mean, I'm guilty of drinking soda too, and I enjoy it every now and then, but I forget a lot of the times just how detrimental it could be to my health drinking too much of it.
예.
네.
또 하나는 운동할 때 열심히 탈수를 너무 심하게 되게 되면은
dehydration.
그게 또 문제가 될 수 있고요.
Okay.
또 이거 중요한데 여러분들 these days it's really easy to get some painkillers. Any place you can go to nearby grocery store, you can get some painkillers.
Oh yeah, you could buy it at like convenience stores.
Yeah, that's right. Without prescription.
네.
But 이 여러분들 진통제를 한 사람이 평생에 먹을 수 있는 게 제한이 돼 있어요.
Yeah, if you go to the US, I don't know about limits on buying painkillers. I'm sure there is, but I've remember many times coming across warning labels how consuming too much at once can. I'm sure there's other parts of your body that it affects it negatively, but 항상 kidney 돼서 이렇게 포커스가 있더라고요. Like it'll damage your kidneys. Too much of it.
예. 가랑비에 옷 젖는다는 말이 있거든요.
네네.
그래서 그 진통제를 먹게 되면은 콩팥이 계속 무리가 되기 때문에 언젠가 먹다 보면 쌓이고 나면서 콩팥이 망가지게 되거든요. 예, 우리나라 메디컬 시스템에서는 약이 중복이 되게 되면은 그 알람이 탕 떠요.
네.
그 참 아주 우리나라 시스템이 아주 좋죠. 근데 콩팥 같은 경우에 안 좋게 되면은 안 좋은 사람들한테 진통제를 처방할 때 알람이 딱 뜨게 하는 그런 시스템을 만들 그러한 계획 중에 있는데요.
네.
이게 되려 그러면 모든 게 다 통합이 돼야 되는데 여하간 그만큼 콩팥의 문제가 심각하기 때문에 이런 문제가 또 이슈가 되고 있는 상황이기 때문에요.
I see.
예, 특히 이제 진통제 중에서 프로펜으로 끝나는 ibuprofen or 프로펜이라고 하는 그쪽 약들이 이래 콩팥이 안 좋으니까 이런 점을 알았으면 좋겠어요.
Okay.
그리고 또 어떤 게 있냐면은 steroid, bodybuilding steroids.
Really?
Yes.
So not good for your kidneys.
Not.
I mean, steroids in general, it gets it has this kind of image of something that, you know, like it's for bodybuilders, but it's illegal because, you know, that means you're using some artificial chemicals to give you a competitive edge above everybody else. But not a lot of people think about how detrimental it can be to your kidneys, right?
Not only detrimental to our kidneys, but also it can be detrimental to our mental health. But we have to take all these things into account because there are good signs of taking some anabolic testosterone, but also there's a downside of it. So for those who are experiencing menopause, menopause, and then it's like in that case we can measure whether this is good for the patients or not good for them. So and then we can guess, we try to get the best decision whether this one is good for them or not. So after turning 50, I tried to get as many testosterone as possible. So I need to be honest. I need to confess this one. So I get several testosterone shots before. So after getting results, then my kidneys are about to get some warning signs of kidney disease results. I just thought about it, what I did to my body. 그래서 제가 어떻게 해서 이 콩팥을 망가뜨렸는지 보니까 소다를 먹었던 게 있었던 것 같고 또 탈수가 되도록 열심히 막 운동을 막 계속했던 거, 막 입이 물을 좀 마시면서 했어야 되는데 끝까지 더 그 고통을 좀 즐기려고 했던 것들. 그다음에 이제 스테로이드를 조금 한번 주사를 좀 맞아봤던 것들. 이런 것들. 그다음에 단백질 파우더를 좀 근육을 키우겠다고 단백질 파우더를 먹었던 것들. 이런 것들이 다 콩팥에 안 좋더라고요. 놀랐어요. 저도 닥터지만 제가 이렇게 내 분야에 대해서
닥터인데 닥터 말을 안 들었다. Dr. Liu, no. But steroids is also something that can wreak havoc on your kidneys.
And the other thing is heartburn drugs.
So another type of medication that's not good for your kidneys.
Yeah, because I've been on this medicine for about maybe 2 or 3 years because I had a chronic GERD syndrome. GERD means gastroesophageal reflux disease.
When
식도역류증.
the gas in the acid comes up your esophagus, right?
Yes. And when I was in college, we didn't have a PPI. PPI proton pump inhibitor라 그래가지고요. proton pump inhibitor 이게 아주 강력한 위산 억제제거든요. 이게 바로 이 식도 역류증에 쓰이고 놀랍게도 막 커피 마시거나 제가 술을 못 마시면 옛날에 술 마셨을 때에 막 그 식스러울 때 이걸 입에 먹으면은요 한 30분, 1시간, 2시간 지나면은 정말 마법처럼 이 속쓰림이 사라져요.
Interesting.
예. 그런 약이 이제 과학이 발달하고 나왔는데 제가 이걸 좀 약간 어뷰스했죠. 예. 그래서 좀 많이 먹고 the GERD is triggered by many bad habits like drinking a lot of sodas and overeating and fatty foods and drinking coffee and some other stuff that might increase the chance of GERD. GERD means 식도 역류증인데 식도 역류증이 약을 먹으면 좋아지거든요.
맞아요.
좋아지니까 또 속도 편하니까 또 많이 먹고 라면도 많이 먹고
포스 같은 그런 약 그냥
맞아요.
좀 속 쓰리고 막 좀 따가우면 그냥 그거 먹고 자면 되겠다라고.
먹고 자고. 먹고 자고 또 이 속 쓰리면 약 먹고 그랬죠.
But not good for your kidneys.
No, not good for our kidney. So in that case, doctors recommend not PPI but rather H2 blocker. 이건 그냥 커먼 센스로 아시면 되는데 요즘에는 여러분들도 의사만큼 알아두는 게 되게 좋아요. PPI, proton pump inhibitor. 이게 이제 강력한 위산 억제제인데 그걸 이제 오랫동안 장기간 또는 많이 먹게 되면 콩팥이 손상이 될 수 있다. 이런 것도 좀 알았으면 좋겠고요.
So PPIs, because I know you could buy them. The PPIs are usually OTC.
No, it's not OTC.
Oh, so you have to get prescription for
맞아요.
PPIs.
Yeah.
But I'm referring to like the post medicines that you just go to your pharmacies and ask for, and they just give it to you. Is that a form of PPI, or I'm sure that's not.
It's not PPI. PPI
Okay.
is always you get
You need prescription for
yes,
it.
you need
Okay.
prescription for it.
For H2 blockers, do you need prescription for those?
Yes, it's also.
Okay, so if you maybe have like chronic, GERDs, as Dr. Yu said, or you experience, a lot of heartburn, and you're getting medication for it, there are options like H2 blockers that might be, little less burden on your
Yeah, it's
kidneys.
safe. Pepper is quite safe for our kidneys.
Interesting.
But lifestyle is most important.
제일
예,
중요하죠.
생활 습관이 제일 중요하죠.
네. So Dr. Yu, today covering, not really getting into the science behind it, but things, I think these are general tips to keep in mind if you want overall, better health for your kidneys. These are all the things that we should not be doing, right? That you mentioned. But I'm sure like you've heard from a lot of other doctors, from advice from your family and friends about what to take, what to do, and what to eat for better kidneys. But Dr. Yu, you always say this on our show, moderation, of course, just balance in all things is probably the best thing you could do for your
예.
body and your kidneys.
자연으로 돌아가는 게 좋겠고,
네.
rather than artificial vitamins or just taking some seasonal fruits is best. It's better than taking artificial vitamins. 그렇죠?
Okay.
제철 과일 먹는 게, 좋은 음식 먹는 게, 잘 먹고 잘 자고 잘 사는 게 훨씬 더 중요하다라는 거를 강조하고 싶고요.
네.
When I'm in my clinic, I'm a doctor, but when I'm at home, I'm a patient. That's quite ironic, but that's what we are.
You're a person, of
Yeah,
course.
you're a person. Nobody's perfect. So I'm really thankful for that. I got to know these kind of situations might take a toll on our kidneys.
Of course.
그래서 정말 열심히 관리 잘해서
네.
제가 건강해야지 다른 사람들도 건강하게 해줄 수 있으니까.
그렇죠.
예, 여러분들한테 큰 도움이 됐으면 좋겠습니다.
감사합니다. Dr. Yu, thank you so much. That will do it for today's 인싸의학. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
예, 다음 주에 보겠는감?
귀엽네요.
네, 썰렁했어요.
네, 원장님
안녕히 계세요.
감사합니다.
네.
Let's take a quick song break. We'll be back. This is Crying Nut with 밤이 깊었네.
밤이 깊었네 뻔하며 춤을 추는 불빛들 이 밤에 취해 흔들리고 있네요 벌써 새벽인데 아직도 혼자네요 이 기분이 나쁘지는 않네요 항상 당신 곁에 머물고 싶지만 이 밤에 취해 떠나고만 싶네요 이 슬픔을 알란가 모르겠어요 나의 구두여 너만은 떠나지 마오 하나 둘 피워오는 어린 시절 동화 같은 별을 보면서 오늘 밤 술에 취한 마차 타고 지친 나를 따러 가야지 밤이 깊었네 뻔하면 노래하는 불빛들 이 밤에 취해 흔들리고 있네요 가지 마라 나를 두고 떠나지 마라 오늘 밤 새빨간 꽃잎처럼 그대 발에 머물고 싶어 번만이라도 날 위해 웃어준다면 거짓말이었대도 저 별을 닫아줄 텐데 아침이 밝아오면 저 별이 사라질 텐데 나는 어쩌나 차라리 떠나가지고 하나둘 비워오는 어린 시절 동화 같은 별을 보면서 오늘 밤 술에 취한 마차 타고 지친 나를 따러 가야지 가지 마라 나를 두고 떠나지 마라 오늘 밤 새빨간 꽃잎처럼 그대 발에 머물고 싶어 날 안아주라
안녕하세요. 고품격 영어 방송 인싸이다 부산의 품격 있는 Writer Steve입니다. Winners of Inside Out Busan listeners participation segment will get full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in Gyeongdong and Yeonsan-dong, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권. A place to entertain your brain and eyes. Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. 뮤지엄 오브 일루전 부산 착시미술관 입장권. 언제나 맛있는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 인투 로스터리. Coffee voucher and a pack of fresh coffee whole beans sponsored by Into Roastery in Yangsan. A delicious brunch for two from Gorilla Brewing Busan, Gwangan branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. We prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky Top Floor Observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다. 부산 X the Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. IOB와 함께하는 품격 있는 선물. It's all yours, listeners.
All right, listeners, time to slowly wrap up today's show with our final segment, quote unquote. And today we talked about 민폐 parking, 민폐 주차, cheeky parking, and how it makes us just so angry, right? Today, this quote is kind of a bit about that, not cheeky parking, but about getting angry. Today's quote brought to you by Ambrose Bierce, and the quote reads, "Speak when you are angry, and you will make the best speech you will ever regret." So what does this speech mean? So this quote, not what the speech, this quote. So this quote by Ambrose Bierce, it kind of serves as a warning, to expressing your anger, talking when you're angry. So this quote tells us that words spoken when you're angry can be damaging, and it often leads to regret. There might be times when, road rage just gets the best of you, right? And you shout at maybe even a complete stranger. Maybe you take it out, on other people that you see in your day. And maybe you do it when you see, cheeky parking, right? Before reacting in a heated moment, before responding to what gets you angry, it's maybe wise, it may be smart to pause, 멈추고 and consider the consequences of your words and actions that will come out if you are angry. So if you do this, if you take the time, if you pause, all right, before I say this, do I really want to say this? 그런 시간을 가지면요, you can avoid creating unnecessary conflict, and this can maintain healthier relationships. It could help you maintain healthier relationships, personally and professionally. So this quote, it's about self-control and thoughtful communication, even when our emotions run high. So next time you see cheeky parking, I don't know, just kind of, I know it's annoying, maybe it might anger you, but why don't you think about, I'm sure this person had their reasons. 이유가 있었겠지. Because I think maybe having that thought kind of helps you kind of get away with that annoyance and anger that you might experience when you see cheeky parking, right? So yeah, I mean, it's something that we can't control because that's what other people are doing. How can you control how other people park, right? It's what we can control within ourselves. If you cannot get angry, if you cannot be annoyed, I think you've won the battle. That was today's quote unquote for you, and that'll do it for today's show. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'm going to leave you with our last track. This one's by 윤도현 Band, YB, 잊을게. Inside of Busan was written by Im Soo-jin, and it was hosted and produced by yours truly, Min Soo-shin. Everybody, have a good night. I'll see you back here tomorrow.
지금은 내 곁에 없는 너를 그리워하네 바보처럼 나보다 행복하기를 바래 내 생각하지 않기를 바래 더 좋은 사람 만나길 바래 다시는 내게 올 수 없게 안개처럼 사라져간 다시 못 올 지난 날 함께한 추억 모두 흘려보낼게 널 잊어야 해 힘들어도 널 지워야 해 기억 속에서 네가 떠난 후에 난 죽을 것 같이 아파도 두 번 다시 울지 않을게 아직도 휴대폰에 네 이름 지우지도 못하고 있어 전화기 들고 한참 서서 널 생각하네 바보처럼 안개처럼 사라져간 다시 못 올 지난 날